Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got a topic that's been buzzing in the racing world. One that speaks volumes about where no prep racing is headed and where it's struggling. We're diving deep into the recent postponement of No Time King's first event, and more importantly, what it says about the state of big tire racing in today's drag scene. This isn't just another race cancellation. This is a turning point. So, the Lizzy Musi Memorial Race was supposed to be the first major event of the season for the No Time King series, set to go down at Gallet Motorsports Park this July. Big names, big payouts, big hype. But just last week, Jim Howe and the No Time Kings team made the tough call to postpone the race until the fall, citing low turnout and other logistical issues. Now they're refunding all tickets, rescheduling for later, and hoping to rebuild momentum. But the real story goes much deeper than just a rain check. See, this isn't the first series to face this issue. Speed Promotions has been running into the same problem all year. And that problem is simple: low car count in the big tire class. We're talking about some of the most legendary classes in all of no prep, steel roof, steel quarter panel beasts that have dominated this scene for years, but now barely pulling 18 to 19 cars per event. Let me hit you with the facts. No Time Kings was offering a $40,000 winner's purse and a jaw-dropping $10,000 to the runner-up. That's no small payout, folks. There are very few series in any part of the drag world offering that kind of money to second place. So how is it that with money on the table, some of the best venues, and a solid media presence, they still can't fill a 32-car field? The answer lies in where big tire racing is right now. And honestly, it's not looking good. Big tire steel body cars, like the ones featured in No Time Kings and NPK last season, are essentially steel-bodied pro mods. You're talking about cars that require massive horsepower, years of development, and budgets that are no longer realistic for the average racer. These cars need to run low 3.7 ES on prep surfaces just to be competitive. And when that's the standard, it automatically limits participation to a select group of elite racers. This isn't the old days of street-style, run-what-you-brung racing. This is full-blown professional engineering, and it's driving people away. A lot of the OG racers that fans love, guys like Dominator, Doc, and Bobby Ducote, aren't showing up anymore. And it's not because they've lost the fire. It's because their equipment simply can't keep up with the current standard without a complete overhaul. And who wants to invest six figures just to maybe qualify? Jim Howe himself has acknowledged this publicly. He's even floated the idea of transitioning the series to No Time Radial Racing, which is a sign that even the people running the show know change is needed. With the payouts they're offering, switching to No Time Radial or small tire no prep would draw massive interest. Why? Because you don't need a steel body, 3,500 horsepower pro mod to win. You just need a reliable car, a solid tune, and nerves of steel. Let's look at the data. Speed Promotions ran 3 big tire races this year, never pulled more than 19 cars. Then they hosted a small tire no prep race with a $100,000 payout, and boom, 63 cars showed up. That's not just coincidence. That's proof that racers are shifting toward classes that are more affordable, more accessible, and honestly, more fun to watch. You've got underdogs taking out giants. You've got diversity in car builds. And most importantly, you've got full fields again. What we're seeing here is the end of an era and the beginning of something new. I truly believe this will be the last season we see a major series like No Time Kings or Speed Promotions center their format around big tire steel body racing. They may finish their current schedules, but beyond that, it's highly likely they pivot to small tire or radial classes in 2025. And from a fan's perspective, that's not a bad thing. Small tire no prep is exploding right now. The car counts, the drama, the unpredictability. It's everything that big tire racing used to be, but with way more accessibility for racers trying to break into the scene. And listen, I get it. Nobody wants to see the legends fade. Nobody wants to wave goodbye to the iconic big tire battles that made this sport what it is. But just like any form of motorsports, evolution is necessary. If the goal is to keep the lanes full and the fans hyped, then the future has to make room for the next wave of racers. And that means shifting to formats that more people can afford to run and more fans can relate to. Now let's be clear, this isn't just about money or car counts. This is about the very identity of no prep racing. For years, big tire classes represented the top of the food chain. If you had a big tire car, you were considered elite. But now, that elite status is becoming a wall that separates the sport from the people who build it. When entry becomes so exclusive that only a handful of racers can even compete, the excitement starts to die out. The stands go empty, the pits get quiet, and the scene starts to lose the energy that made it great. Think about it this way. Racing thrives on accessibility and diversity. When any racer with a solid build and enough heart can roll in and have a shot, that's when the sport grows. That's when fans get invested, because they can see themselves in the drivers. That's what small tire and no-time classes are bringing back. You don't need a six-figure budget or a full-time crew. You need grit, knowledge, and a car that hooks. That's the spirit of real street-style racing. And let's not forget the entertainment factor. Big tire passes are fast, yes, but a small tire car on a marginal surface, dancing on the edge of traction, yanking the wheels, and skating down the center line. That's exciting. That's the kind of drama that draws cheers from the crowd and makes people want to go home and wrench on their own projects. The crowd wants action, not just numbers on a scoreboard. One of the reasons small tire and no time are gaining steam is the unpredictability. In big tire, when only 18 cars show up and the same 5 racers have the fastest equipment, the outcome starts to feel a little too predictable. But in no time, small tire races, it's wide open. You might have a newcomer from a town nobody's ever heard of knock out a veteran in the second round. That's the kind of racing that writes new stories and builds new legends. And let's talk about coverage. When these races get posted online, the small tire races consistently perform better in terms of views, shares, and engagement. Why? Because people love seeing close races, sketchy passes, and underdog wins. It's not just about running a number. It's about the story behind the car, the driver, and the journey to the lanes. The media side of racing is shifting toward content that's more raw and relatable. And that's exactly what small tire delivers. Now, I'm not saying big tire is dead, far from it. There will always be a place for big tire monsters in exhibitions, special events, and match races. But as far as full-season touring series with consistent fields and growing interest, the writing is on the wall. We're watching a transition unfold in real time, and it's up to the community to decide what survives and what gets left behind. That's why it's so important that promoters like Jim are already thinking about pivoting. It takes a lot of humility to admit when something isn't working and the guts to change direction. If No Time Kings rebrands toward No Time Radial or small tire classes, I fully believe they'll bounce back stronger than ever. They already have the infrastructure, the fan base, and the promotional power. Now they just need to align with what today's racers and fans actually want. And if you're a racer sitting on the sidelines right now, feeling like you're priced out of big tire no prep, don't hang your head. Your time is coming. Small tire no prep is your shot. Start getting your car ready. Start testing. Start networking. Because the door is about to open wide, and the next wave of talent is going to come from the grassroots level, not the big budget elite. We're watching the sport reshape itself in real time. Promoters are re-evaluating formats. Racers are trading slicks for radials. Fans are filling stands for classes that used to be sideshows. But now small tire is the main event. And if the momentum continues into next year, don't be surprised when the biggest races in no prep aren't on 36-inch slicks, but on 28s. So get ready, because what's coming next is not just a shift, it's a revolution. This is where legends will be born again. This is where the next Murder Nova, Daddy Dave, or Ryan Martin will rise. And it won't be from $1 million hauler. It'll be from a garage, a Facebook post, and a small tire pass that lights up the internet. As always, thank you for watching and supporting the channel. If you're as fired up about this future as I am, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Tell me what you think. Should No Time Kings go small tire? Are we witnessing the fall of big tire racing? or just the beginning of something better. This is the heartbeat of real racing. This is the voice of the street. And it's just getting started. Stay safe, stay fast, and as always, keep it outlaw.